big g'day and welcome to the Riddell District Football Netball League Round 8 review show. Yendi, here with Shawnee. G'day mate, how's it all going?
Good mate, how are you?
Oh, firing up mate. Firing up mate.
Starting to get the time of the year where you start to bust a full for valve, you get that excited, isn't it?
About mid-year,
starting to get down. We're almost on that downhill turn after this week, so...
I know, I've heard people talk about finals in recent weeks and how it's just around the corner, so it's getting pretty hairy and in terms of the senior side of things, the top 6 almost getting locked in very early on, but I don't think... from what we saw on the weekend, the finals race isn't just over yet, mate.
No, I don't think so, and I reckon it might actually be 7 teams in there as well that are fighting at the moment, because there's a couple of teams doing some nice things. Broadford showed on the weekend that they're not going to be any easy beats this year either.
Not at all, and they haven't played a bad game all year. The losses they've had have just been by quite narrow margins, so a big significant improvement. But speaking of improvement, the first game we're going to look at is Diggers Rest against Lancefield. Diggers Rest 16-19, 115, defeated Lancefield 14-8-92 by 23 points. The Tigers showed a lot of fight, a lot of heart. They hit the front in the third term before the Burrows kicked away. John Kemp finished the day with 6 goals for the Tigers, while the Burrows calmly spread them around as they usually do. Good effort there by the Tigers. Probably says more about them, if anything.
Yeah, it does. It also shows that Diggers Rest are in a pretty good spot, because they can let a team come at them like Lancefield did, let a team get ahead of them, and then be able to dig deep and be able to run over the top as well, which it's good sides that are able to do that. And Diggers Rest are in a good stretch of form. They know that they don't need to peak now. They know that what they're doing now is setting themselves up for another tilt of what they've done the last couple of years. What they need to do is make sure that they're doing what they have to do now, and then come round 15, round 16, that's when they're starting to peak, leading into the finals, so they can hit those finals absolutely flying. I'm liking Lancefield though. I'm really liking what they're doing. It may not be that they make finals this year, but if they can keep this going, keep building where they're at, it's going to set them up really well for 2016.
Well, this is essentially what they're doing now in the seniors, is a great advertisement for what's going to happen in the future. Well, they need the 16s, they need the 18s, and well, they're poor reserves, so they kicked 1 point and Diggers Rest end up winning that one by 30 goals. So this is if the senior team can push on the fringe of finals this year, maybe even beat a team or two in the top 6, then maybe that'll bring across a few more players and really strengthen up their stocks for the future.
Yeah, and the capabilities that Lancefield have got is they could do an upset before the season's out, and one that could really shake things up. And who knows, if things go their way, we could be talking about them in 4 or 5 weeks' time as still having a mathematical and legitimate chance of playing finals footy.
Exactly right, and considering what they did on the weekend, they did that without Scotty Swindles, and when he does get back in the team, look out, the Tigers will be up and about. Now, speaking of up and about, the Hawks, they've just stunned the footy world on the weekend. They were 44 points down at half-time, and watch this on the video today, actually, on the via Red Onion there, our great friends over there.
www.aflgoldfields.tv, check out the portal.
Watch the last quarter there, the second half in particular, it was quite amazing. There is the Hawks, 12-7-79, defeated Wallen 11-6-72. Just doesn't get much better than that if you're a Hawks fan. They kicked 6 goals to none in the third term and really opened up the game.
It just shows you get that first win and you get so much confidence out of it. If this was 2 weeks ago, we would have said would end 44 points down at half-time. They wouldn't have been a prayer of getting over the line in this one. But because they had that win last week, Ross Slate was able to go into them at half-time and say, look, we've got a bit of confidence up our sleeves. We know what we need to do to get back into this game now. We've been there, we've sipped from the chalice, and we've got over the line once this year. And they did exactly that. Full credit to them. Wallen were great in that first half. They were absolutely flying. Jesse Cassidis really gave them a good target up forward alongside Sam Rex Happy as well. And to score 10 goals in a half of footy is nothing to be sneezed at, but they stopped in the third quarter. Woodend really flew at them and then were able to keep it going when they needed to.
And the hero of the day was Nathan Stevens, who sent a big long bomb through the big sticks from about outside 50. And Steve-O, well, he is the reigning Scarborough medalist at Romsey. So the fact that he's returned back to his own hometown at Woodend Heskett and done the job on effectively their home ground, which used to be Steve-O's previous home ground, says a lot for his confidence as well. And Danny Harris and also Ben Morrison, a few of the ex-Romsey boys, getting a bit of a taste of success on their former home ground.
And it's good to see this success for Woodend, because they're a club that a couple of weeks ago we didn't know what was going to happen with them. Now they've got those couple of wins, they can look forward, and it really puts them in a good stead. Much like we said about Lancefield, they're not going to play finals this year, but it gives them something to work towards for 2016 now.
Exactly, not bad for a club who hasn't officially got a home ground. Everything, but when they do get back on the GGO in season 2016, look out, it's going to be a heck of a sight and a heck of a Hawks outfit. Now, probably one of the probably not the most stimulating game of the weekend. Romsey 17-21-123 defeating Melton Central's 5-6-36 by 87 points. Redbacks just went about it business as usual. Probably a bit disappointing from the Centrals given their recent good form.
Yep, and I dare say Teen Helmers will probably be a little bit upset with Romsey as well because of their goal kicking. 17 goals, 21 on the weekend. They, especially after half time, I think they kicked 9 goals, 11 after half time or something like that. They probably really could have put Melton Centrals away and given them a really good percentage booster. Good to see Mitch Farmer up and about again this year. 5 goals again on the weekend. He's that X-factor player that if he gets going, Romsey is so hard to stop.
And it's great to see Cam Dawson on his way back from injury as well. He kicked a goal, and also Steve Burlack, the reigning premiership captain, also back in the team as well, which is great for him. The Centrals, look, Nathan Richo just doing his job week in, week out. Just hasn't got too many supporters behind him.
Not really, but they're a very young side as well, Centrals. And as you know, with young sides, you get the peaks and troughs of performance. You're going to get weeks like this where they come up against an experienced side and they do get wiped. But you never know that you could play this game again in 8 weeks and they could be competitive all game. That's just how it goes with young players.
Well, they pushed the reigning grand finalists a few weeks ago, so that was pretty pleasing in itself. Now, probably the one of the games, there's 2 big games on the weekend, but the Sunbury Kangaroos up 13-11-89 defeated Broadford 13-86. It was an absolute cliffhanger of a game, and young Jakey Young just kicked a goal there for the Kangaroos there in the last few seconds to get the Sunbury Kangaroos over the line.
Yes, the Kangaroos versus Kangaroos. They're both Kangaroos, of course. But look, this is one that we probably not a lot of us saw this result coming in many ways because the Kangaroos have been so dominant to start the year, and obviously Broadford flying under the radar a little bit as well. And obviously being that little bit out of town, you don't hear too much about Broadford and the way they're going. But I can tell you that they are a serious football team. If they get a little bit of luck going their way, they'll pluck one of these games against these top sides, and all of a sudden everybody's going to be saying, look out for Broadford. They're not that far away. Look, full credit to the Sunbury Kangaroos, though. They're flying at the moment. They are going really nicely, and there's that 2012 vibe about the Kangaroos at the moment.
Definitely right, mate. And they had a few changes on the weekend, and those coming into the side did their damage. But in my opinion, if James Philpott's not the best ruckman going around the competition,
right, isn't he?
We saw him at the interleague action there. He absolutely dominated the Nepean side, so he was best on ground on the weekend. We saw him against Macedon the other week, and he was probably one of the best. If Broadford had got up over Macedon, he would have got the wine, that's for sure. So
he's the rock player of the day.
Yeah, exactly. It is going off. Now, the game that we were at on the weekend, Riddell 19-25-139 to Kilmore 5-3-33. The result says that the Bombers did it very easily, but the game itself suggested otherwise. The Blues, they missed a shot through Sean Harrison early on in the third term, would have brought the margin back to about 35 points, but then Riddell just did what they did best and managed to capitalise on that. So up until that stage of the game, the Blues were right in the contest.
Yeah, and it's really good to see as well. Obviously, we look at the scoreboard at the end of this and we think, this is exactly what we would have expected from this game. But look, it's great to see that Kilmore are taking these baby steps. They're just taking small step after small step after small step. They're going about things they know internally that 2015 is going to be a tough year, but they are a team, and we've spoken about it a bit already, about putting blocks down for 2016. They've almost been all about 2016 since they first ran out on the field for 2015. They're going through a process this year of getting their club right on and off the field so that when it comes the new season, they're going to be very competitive. And look, they're going about it the right way too, I think. Riddell, very good win on the weekend. One that Troy Scoble would have been very happy with, getting that bit of percentage there. They 19 goals, 25 again. There was something in the air when it comes to kicking on the weekend, so they're probably a little bit upset they didn't get that big percentage booster. But the big roughie, 8 goals on the weekend. He got the wine as well, so
he did.
Good to see him going along very nicely.
Absolutely, he was almost unstoppable, and he kicked 8 goals. Probably set up a couple of others as well, and it was a really pleasing performance. He played a bit more deeper in the forward line, enabled the big fella Jimmy Nolan to push further up the ground. He probably had no short of 14 marks throughout the game, and his kicking was terrible.
I was just surprised to see a Riddell game where Hayden Ross didn't win the best player. I think that's the first time in about 3 years where you haven't given him the wine.
Oh, don't worry about it. I heard about it during the over the weekend. That's for sure. And hats off to Riddell as well. They had a few disciplinary issues the previous week against Rupertswood. The club jumped on the front foot, and this is what's showing leadership. We want to see this around clubs. The Riddell club identified there was a problem. They sorted it out during the week, and they on the field and off the field, we saw a complete turnaround. And hats off them. That's what we want to see with clubs in the area, and hats off the Bombers. The results showed. Realistically, they could have been they should have been 0-2 heading into the senior game. Instead, they walked away with 3 wins with the under-18s reserves and seniors. So hats off to them. Now the final game, Macedon 24-12, 156 defeated Rockbank 7-2, 44 by 112 points. Arguably Macedon's best performance in quite some time in terms of a good quality four-quarter effort.
And considering they had a few out as well, Marcus Kenny didn't play on the weekend. Sean Harrison and Jason Cook picked up the slack in that regard. Aaron Christensen, good to see him kicking 3 goals after a bit of a trip down Media Street last week, thanks to your good self.
Absolutely,
so
mate.
he's done the media rounds and then he's gone out on the field and produced on the weekend. And look, this shows where Macedon are at. They are a side that really need to be feared this weekend. I can't wait to watch them go around. Coming up this weekend up against Romsey. Rockbank, I reckon that's finals done for them now. They can probably kiss it goodbye. They're another team that they've now got to get the best that they can out of season 2015, and they're not going to play finals. We can always say that with some sort of assurance. So they need to just go out there and worry about just winning quarters, not so much winning games. Obviously, they got that win a couple of weeks ago, but against these better sides, they just worry about winning quarters of footy, and then results will come from that.
Probably a bit disappointing that when they got the win a few weeks ago, they didn't back it up with they sort of went back to square one against the Hawks and basically propped the Hawks up. So if they had got that, then maybe the Hawks would have been on struggle street since then. But now the Hawks have taken advantage of that first win, and they'll look to continue a position where Rockbank should have been in.
Yeah, exactly right. Look, and if Rockbank had won that game last week, this probably would have been a lot closer than what it was. But
definitely,
in the end, it is what it is. Lockie Calder's still producing in front of goal for Rockbank. Great to see. And Harley Cameron's still doing a good job as well for the Rams. But Macedon up and about at the moment. And we'll speak about it more later on in the week. But, geez, they've got a big game coming up this weekend, the Cats.
Absolutely. Well, their efforts were even pleasing over the last couple of weeks, given that James Ferry is lining up for the VFL Bombers side. So when you get James Ferry back into the team, if he had played that weekend, it probably would have been a 20-goal margin there. Yeah. So great work there to the Cats. I know Jeff Andrews, or Joffa, was very, very happy with that performance, mate. As we're very happy that round 8 is done and dusted, and we've certainly got a big weekend ahead in footy, which we'll cap on later on in the week. So there you go. There's a bit of a round 8 review there, mate. Thanks again, as always, for joining.
Not a problem, mate. Great to be here, and I might even come in later on in the week and we'll have a look at round 9 with you.
Sounds like a plan, mate.